A disgraceful decision has been made to give our politicians another freaking pay rise. And all day, every day, these are the people who get to tell us how we have to live, and all of them pretend that they can feel our pain, even though, as I have told you many times before, there have been 3 pay rises in the first term of the Albanese government. The first one was 2.75%. The second one was their biggest they had received in a decade. And just last year, the second biggest pay rise in the last decade. They are well and truly well remunerated. As millions of Australians work harder than ever for what feels like less money at the end of the pay cycle, let alone Australia being in a per capita recession for most of the past 3 years, getting ready for more of the same for the next 3 years. Because of productivity, our living standards are down to 1959. And despite the fact of all of this, despite the fact of cost of living crisis, despite the fact of
the government's agenda
of 3 million people this close to homelessness, of more than 3 million households that will have run out of food most probably by this time each and every week, a disgraceful decision has been made to give our politicians another freaking pay rise. The 4th since the Labor Party won in 2022.
When you come from where I've come from, one of the advantages that you have is that
another freaking pay rise.
You know, everything in life's a bonus.
And just so happened to be timed weeks after a federal election. We learned today that the Remuneration Tribunal has given another 2.4%, now meaning that the Prime Minister is going to get an extra $14,500 a year, on top of the last pay rise, the one before that, and the one before that. No wonder these people are cock-a-hoop. So happy to be part of the club. Now, years ago, a decision was made because, of course, politicians, if they were in charge of their own pay, there'd be blowback. But now a independent tribunal,
who is a mate of Albanese,
is the one that decides whether the politicians of Australia deserve a pay rise. And they've come out with their determination, and here are some details about it. Anthony Albanese and other politicians are set for a plumbed-up pay packet. The Prime Minister will go from $607,000 a year to $622,000. He did nothing to deserve the pay rise.
We have a plan to grow the economy in a way that grows productivity. That's how you ensure that you can boost business, you can boost wages without putting upward pressure on inflation. That's why we've concentrated on issues like
another freaking pay rise. Jim Chalmers, the one who feels your pain, the one who says he needs not just this election but another election before they can put in place what's needed to fix the country, $448,000. Cabinet ministers, including a lot of the freeloaders and the free riders that we've talked about over the years, is now $412,000. What a disgrace.
And that's a tribute to Anthony's leadership.
These people are already earning a big chunk of change. On top of that, they have staff who, including, were given extra staff in the last parliament so they could film themselves for TikTok videos, despite the fact that TikTok is banned by the Australian government. They, of course, have the printing allowances. They've got the ability to walk into Parliament and defame anyone they want because they're a special breed of human. But there's even more detail which is going to annoy you, because it's not just a pay rise for politicians. You see, the same people who got the same 3 pay rises of the last term in Parliament are very senior public servants. The public servants that are already paid more than the Prime Minister or the Minister of the day of which they are supposedly answerable to. These people have all of the same travel entitlements. They're all the ones flying up the front of the plane. These are all the people who think they are more important than you and I, and the independent tribunal bangs in the 4th pay rise in 3 years for these people. Unbelievable. Australians are going backwards to a standard of living that is back in 1959. Hunger, homelessness, hard work. These people, 4 pay rises since 2022. Unbelievable.